something you don't know.
Hey guys, good evening. Happy Monday evening, and we have Kasthuri back again on the show. Kasthuri is from Singapore. She is an educationalist, she is a social activist, she is into a lot of NGO activities, and she runs her beautiful blog. I mean, people will fall in love just with the name. It's called Gems Unearthed, and she is into multiple activities which are ensuring that the education system of the kids are just not with respect to the books but beyond that. She infuses a lot of her own yoga practices. She infuses a lot of her life experiences into what should be transformed as a next generation education. So thanks a lot, Kasthuri, for joining us on this particular show. Maybe can you talk about what's happening? How was the last 1 year? Were you able to do the services, NGO services, which you were involved in earlier with respect to India and Nepal? So yeah, we would love to hear as to what's happening now, what's cooking now.
Yeah. Hi, Ravi. How are you? I hope you're good.
Yes.
I'm great, Ravi. Thank you so much. And thank you for this evening. Yes, Ravi, it's been a year or so ever since COVID has started. And of course, thankfully, because of me being an educator, work is going on as per usual. So career is still fine, not disturbed, and it's wonderful. The other activities, like you mentioned about my NGO activities, my volunteering activities, that has come to a pause for some time, Ravi, especially my volunteering activities with yoga, because we can't gather in a big group. So that has been paused for a while, as well as my Silver Generation activity as well. I'm a Silver Generation ambassador, so I reach out to seniors, go door to door and reach out to them and talk about their benefits, health benefits, and talk to them about how they are feeling during this time alone. So that has been paused for quite some time as well. And especially in Nepal, like it's been more than a year. Of course, we planned something last year, December as well, after that beautiful success of that Christmas transformation of a village school in Nepal. So last year it did not happen because of pandemic. So that was something sad, yeah, but it's still vivid in my mind, definitely.
Super. So you are into multiple activities. So how do you manage time, and especially with yoga? And with respect to yoga, I mean, we really missed you on the yoga day on our platform. But how are you trying to juggle between all these roles?
Well, exactly. Tell me about it, Ravi. It's like yoga, online. Yoga is something that you do face to face, and you meet with your mass group, especially when it comes to volunteering. I was actually volunteering for this organization called Nikam Guruji in Singapore. It was actually started by a wonderful man whom I unearthed in my Gems Unearthed blog. His name is Atul, Mr. Atul. So I was so happy, and actually I was honored to be part of this organization where he did we carry out free yoga classes for people in Singapore. So that had to stop, and it was the saddest thing that ever happened, because there is a power and energy to mass yoga practices. It just gives that kind of energy in that whole session. So if that has to stop, it has a lot to do with my own discipline in doing yoga at home. So you have to be really highly disciplined for you to make sure that your yoga practices go on as usual. So that has been going on in the mornings and all that. So otherwise, lately you could I'm sure you would have noticed, and you would have come across a lot of online yoga classes going on. So I make sure I am part of these mass practices through some online courses as well.
Yeah. So it took pandemic. I think one of the things that got recognized during pandemic is yoga, because people were not going out, and they needed something to work out. Gyms were closed. So I think yoga, and yeah, the last time we spoke versus now, the difference is earlier Ravi knew yoga. Now he's trying to practice yoga. So So that is one.
Great. Wonderful. I mean, this yoga is something that I'm an advocate of yoga because, well, you don't need anything, right? What
Yeah.
equipment do you need for
all,
yoga?
all,
I mean,
all you need
that's
is a mat, and you just
a
need
mat.
what, 12,
Exactly.
13 square feet of space.
Well, absolutely. The only worry that we instructors had initially when this whole yoga stuff and when it went online was that, Ravi, whether our people can the alignments of people can be seen or not. So that was the worry. So actually, so our instructions through online have to be so clear that they have to make sure that they are bending their knees, and they're not bending from their back, they're bending from their hip area. So all these details have to be instructed very specifically and very clearly. If not, it can hurt them. Yeah, so safe practices, we have to make sure that it goes on online. Yeah.
Got it. So, being an educationalist, what are the changes you've seen? What are you part of? I mean, I also heard about a book that you're involved in now. So, what's happening there, and what is the contribution you're bringing in as an educationalist?
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to talk about it, Ravi. It's actually a wonderful collaboration between these two amazing coaches that I know. Coach Isha, she's from Queen Anne Books, and Coach Pooja, she is from LD Webinars. So I had this amazing opportunity. In fact, I should say it's a blessing that I had an opportunity to work with children's stories, which is close to my heart, and I'm always passionate about children. So that was a blessing, I would say. And I feel it was an honor for me to actually work with these two wonderful coaches as well as good friends of me of mine. So they actually invited me along their wonderful journey of collaboration through this book. So I felt that this is such an honor because I had an opportunity to look at their stories and like fill in some gaps in between, and then also do a proofreading. So I would tell you, I was like so fortunate to read their stories firsthand before it was launched even. So
Okay.
they are coming up with their next book, and that comprises of like volume 1, 2, and 3. It's called The Enchanted World. So people can purchase that book through Amazon, actually, through Amazon. And it's in a very reasonable price, Ravi. So, well, I hope that our people who are viewing here, they can support these amazing authors. It's like, you know, people like Coach Isha and Pooja. Um, I just feel they're so amazing because around this world, children are definitely, most of the children are very creative and they're very imaginative. And there's never a limit to their imagination. They write a lot around the world. This book actually has authors around the world. So it was so amazing that um, these two coaches actually took the effort to bring their writings to the next level in launching it into a book. So without people like Coach Isha and Coach Pooja, like we won't be able to like see these kind of evidences of amazing work from young people like these authors. And actually it was a consequence of their masterclass that they carried out through their writers and speakers masterclass. So it was so amazing that they actually brought it to the next level and they launched this book. And I was actually fortunate to see their stories firsthand, and I was, in fact, fortunate to work with some of them and talk the story through. So, being a literacy coach, I think this is an honor that they gave me. So, I really thank them for this opportunity.
So, Kasuri, some of these things, during our age, during our childhood, these were like not possibilities. These were like books were written by, daughters of ministers, or prime minister, or sons of some a big shot. And to a common man, it was only about reading the book. I mean, publishing their own book was a dream. So I really, when I see the transition now, the availability, the access that is provided, everybody is equal. I mean, the equality, with respect to publishing books, the equality with respect to publishing it in the right platform where, you don't have to spend millions of rupees to market it, but, it's available easily on Amazon platforms like Amazon and all that. And the pricing, the earlier books were so expensive. A person has to wait for like 3 months to 6 months, gather some amount and then buy it. And now it's like, you can afford 5 to 10 books every month, and if not physical, access it in Kindle. So I see a great transformation. I'm personally not a book reader, but I've seen huge transition from the time during my childhood till now. So the access was only available to libraries versus now access is available across. And kids writing books is like really surprising. Now we're talking about equality and, entirely a new generation of people coming in and writing books. That is just absolutely, I think, experience that we missed as kids. All the people who were born in, 70s, 80s, 90s definitely miss this particular experience. And when somebody is getting this experience where they can pen down their thoughts, their dreams into a book with help of coaches who are available, I think amazing. I think
You
thanks to all
said it.
those coaches who are fulfilling these dreams, because I can visualize the experience the kids have once the book is published, and I can also visualize the experience the parents have, because they can also say that, hey, my child is an author of one book or two books. that
Absolutely.
is that is
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, you said it right, Ravi. It's actually through coaches like Coach Isha and Coach Puja. It was possible, right? Anything can be possible. It's through people like them, and technology is also one of the reasons. And of course, knowing that there is no limit to imagination. This is an important factor that I think educators these days, parents especially, have to believe in their children. When I had an opportunity to read these children's stories, it was just so amazing, Ravi, because, well, I'm a great fan of learning about cultures, learning about languages. So when I read their book, oh, they were so authentic. And I got to see stories which had lots of like cultural aspect in it. Religion, they brought about religion, and you see, religion, beliefs, and culture. These are the things that make us who we are, definitely, and how we contribute to the society. So when children, from a child's view, it's so innocent. All they want is peace in this world. And these stories actually, Ravi, proved me how much of magic there is in reality too. Yeah. Believe it or not, like, I've seen magic, at least one vivid one in my childhood. Like, nobody would believe it, but even I couldn't believe it at that time when I was a child, probably around like 5, 6 years old, and it happened to me. Well, if I tell someone, they will like laugh at me,
No,
probably.
we want to hear that. We want to
Yeah.
hear that. That was my next question, Kasturi. What was your childhood dream, and how did it go? A gist of it, if you can explain that.
Okay, my childhood dream. Okay.
It can be fantasy also, so it need not be just a dream, but it's a fantasy. A lot of people think the kids only dream when they sleep, but even when they're awake, they're playing around. They're around this fantasy that they're living. They play a character that got influenced by some TV series they see and all that. I personally, I was influenced by this particular series called Street Hawk. It was a speed bike which you press a button, and those days nitro was not there, but it just goes through the street, and that was my fascination every time I ride a bicycle. I was imagining myself.
That was so
so,
nice. Okay.
so what was your fantasy or your dream during childhood?
Okay, fairies were definitely my fantasy. I thank you so much for asking me this question, because it brings me back to actually this magic that happened in my life. So fairies were truly a very big part in my life through childhood. Actually, it was about Cinderella's story, and I had to do a role play of the fairy godmother. So at that night after my rehearsal, the last rehearsal, probably I think 2 days later, it's my final show. So I was telling my grandpa that, oh, how nice it would be if I have the wand, the magic wand. Ravi, that's it. I told my grandpa and I slept. And I slept. It was a Saturday night. And the next morning, of course, being Sunday morning, I know it might not be believable, but okay. I woke up in the morning. I went to the kitchen. It was like a landed, almost like a landed property. So I had a backyard. So when I saw at the backyard, among the leaves, something was shining. Okay, Ravi?
Oh my God.
Something was shining.
I have goosebumps.
Right. You will have it, like I'm having it too.
I am
Well,
having goosebumps now.
exactly. It was shining. Okay. Now I opened the backyard and I rushed outside. And then, in fact, before that, I called my grandpa. Say that, Grandpa, what's over there? Because usually we kind of like like I usually get my grandpa to follow me to the backyard when I wake up in the morning when it's like less crowded. So I was asking him, what is that shining stuff over there? And then he was like, I don't know. Let's go and take a look. Ravi, you wouldn't believe. I saw this like a metal star, just a star. Actually, it has kind of like something to fix on a stick. But it was just the star itself, only the star. Ravi, that's it. That's it. I was stunned and frozen for a while. It's like,
Wow.
what?
Can you guys see the goosebumps?
I know, right? I know, right? So I was like, what? I suspected it could be my grandpa because to me, my grandpa matters a lot. Like I was asking, I know it was you. It's you are the one who placed it there. How did you get that star? My grandpa said, no, it's not me, Ma. It's not me. So I was like, how? So we got that star. And then like we were looking around, like where could it have dropped from? It's like it was late night. Did one of the stars dropped? You know, that kind of thought you have. And then I took it back inside, and my grandpa actually helped me fix it on a stick, on a short stick. He kind of like cut a stick and then like sandpaper it and then make it into a wand. And I had a wand when I was that fairy godmother. So what would you say, Ravi? Like it was pure magic in my life. It happened. And that's it. That was what magic happens. Things happen. You wish for it. It happens. So
what is the thing you wanted to try with that magic wand? So what was the first thing you wanted to try those days? Are you?
Well, like it was just that story and that's it. But I kept it close to my heart for a very, very long time. It mattered to me a lot. And I realized the real thing is that like you wish for it, you will get it. You picture it. The visualization, the laws of attraction. That's how I thought was amazing. And I had an amazing childhood with like kindness being the most prevalent value in the setting that I was living. So being kind was one of my aims in life. And yeah, so if like whatever that I'm doing right now, like my volunteering, my life with children, my life with seniors, it has all got to do with who I was as a child, Ravi. So this is what I always talk to about, children and how important their thoughts and their behaviors and nurturing them is so important in like who they grow up to be. So that's what I advocate about, be loving to them and show model kindness because it was all modeled around me when I was young. So it's like when my grandpa, my grandma was living with them. So we kind of like invite or like we welcome strangers who are homeless. I have seen it with my own eyes. They offer food, and it's happening in Singapore, Ravi. I'm in Singapore, so it happens in Singapore. So it was like so many years ago. That was like 40 years ago. I'm 42 right now. So I have witnessed all these in my growing years. My parents, both of them are fantastic, wonderful, kind people. So being kind, being happy, being compassionate is something that I always wanted to be. And I think in a package, I see teacher as someone who does that, and that's who I am now.
That's the most wonderful thing, because lot of people, apart from next to parents, are teachers, and that's what we see. As a teacher, I used to admire my teachers during childhood, and I always want to follow their footsteps. So that's a wonderful thing. Now,
Absolutely.
it's so amazing about these books written by kids.
Mhm.
One of the points which I wanted to highlight is it's pure.
Absolutely pure.
Yeah, it's just pure. If I'm writing the same book with the same topic, I've read the story and I'm rewriting it, I would have so many conditions. I would have so many thoughts as to what would Kasturi think, what would somebody else think, what would my wife think, what would others think, what would my friends in the other religion think, what would the other political party think of the color. So it's so many ifs and buts. But I think the one statement with this particular book written by kids would be pure. I think that
Yes.
would, that's the age when everything comes out from their heart. There are no ifs and buts, there are no conditions out. So,
Absolutely. You're so right. You just imagine the that one story that I told you when I was young. It was just pure and it's still vivid in my mind. So exactly that many stories I was so fortunate to witness. So I was like so careful when I had to fill in the blanks. I was so careful. I had to make sure I asked Coach Pooja and Coach Ishaz like, okay, look, as much as possible, I want the stories to be authentic. So the grammar wise, I just had to look through the grammar wise and make sure that I had to fill in the gaps very, very carefully with the children's, knowledge and things like that because it's their stories. So when I was going through the stories with the children, so um, as a literacy coach, I always make sure that like I don't give out like I don't give out my ideas, but I always ask questions to prompt them in for their thinking. What do you think would have happened next? Can you talk about the feelings? So, as a literacy coach, when you want to read, like when you read or write a story, like you look into all these aspects, right? For example, has the feeling been expressed? So I ask them such questions like about creativity. For example, children are very used to say it in in their direct speeches. So how would you change the say if you're talking in a crying voice? Why not you say cried instead of said? So the different vocabulary that you need in that story in order to be more creative and more exciting. So I worked in these areas. And when children usually they are reading about like a lot of like Western stories, like to you and I probably because we might have learned, like as for me, I have been learning English simultaneously along with my Tamil. So stories like Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, and these kind of fairy tales are so common. But have you ever thought, Ravi, like if you're working with a Japanese boy or a
mhm.
Korean boy, do you think they would know Cinderella? Not all know because in their
Absolutely.
country, actually, they work a lot with their own mother tongue, and I'm a great advocate of mother tongue. Yeah, as much as being a TESOL coach, teaching English to speakers of other languages, and an English literature literacy coach, I I encourage every child to embrace their mother tongue because when along the time when I learned English coaching, like how to coach English, the journey actually enlightened me to understand how important mother tongue is. in the learning of English. So it's about the mechanics. Actually, it has nothing got to do with confusion or whatsoever. So I had an opportunity to see authentic Japanese heroes, Korean heroes. It was amazing. So that was fantastic. So as a literacy coach, I always encourage them, talk about your own culture. Like, look, we're all done with like enough of Cinderellas, enough of Jack and the Beanstalk. But what I would like to see as a coach or as a reader is like, I want to see different cultural stories. So coming out from Japanese, Korean, even like when I work with the Spanish students, when I work with Argentinian students, when I work with Finnish children, it was amazing. It was like, actually, my view was like kaleidoscope of the different cultures. So it was just so amazing. And I realized something, Ravi. Though I see so much and so many diversities in their stories, I realized that there are so much more similarities in us. Great values like kindness, smile, sadness, fantasy, they are all similar to all children. Love and kindness and compassion and fantasy. This is something so similar to all children. So I think, again, I'm so blessed to see all this in their works, and especially these books. Oh, it's like I can't get over this book.
So what was your favorite chapter in this particular book? You don't have to tell the entire story,
Yeah.
don't spill the beans, but
Yeah.
what's your favorite?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I don't know, something that, like, now that you told me about it, there was this one part of this boy's story where he found, I mean, that character found her teeth in the dosa and idli.
Oh.
So that was like something that I will never forget, and I had a good laugh. It was so much of humor in it, and I liked the way it was dosa and idli, because literally when I read that sentence, Ravi, I was salivating away. It was like, oh my God, dosa and idli. And the next time when I had it with my family, I burst into laughter. And my family was asking, Amma, why are you, what happened? Suddenly you laughed this way. I was like, oh my God, I got reminded of that story. It's like, can you imagine my teeth is in this dosa? I was like, so, moments like that, they created such beautiful moments like that, the stories. So that was definitely very clear. And one of the students actually talked about the power of prayers. And so that also I wouldn't forget. So, and it's like from a different religion. So again, Ravi, I'm currently pursuing my degree in sociology. So I love culture, so that's why I'm pursuing that, and it makes me feel that the different religion that I am exposed to, and these stories are allowing me to see the different ways of prayers, different religion, and it makes me understand that, oh my God, this world is rich in diversity, and everyone has a part to play in this beautiful world in their own ways. So these were some of the stories, that I got reminded offhand now.
So if you had the magic power right now, which you thought of, achieving in the childhood,
Mhm.
what would you do now? So you had one wish and, that will be fulfilled. What would you wish for?
Well, right now, oh, it's very easy, Ravi. Let's scrap off this COVID. Back to normal. Really, if that's the wish, then no more COVID. I would do that first. Let's all get back to the normal lifestyle. That's one thing I will do immediately. No more COVID. I'm done with it.
True.
For a
I
point,
think,
yeah.
that's the first priority everybody, has in mind, rather than being selfish. I think we would, look into something like this, which will, take care of the entire world.
Absolutely. I mean, we're really done with it. Like, it was some time. It was in fact, it's a long time, Ravi. So, oh my God, that's enough. Enough of rest. Enough of working from home. Enough of all that. Just get back to normal. And I think like some things that I hold very close to my heart, as I told you about this volunteering. Like I really miss that. So I would really would want to go back to such things as well. Like, of course, this COVID also has enlightened me with a lot of things that we have so much taken granted for. Like, a lot of things that it taught us, like valuable time at home, rest. That was something that I needed badly, and I had a good rest, and that's enough. I think too much of rest for me already, so I'm back. So that's one thing that I will do immediately. No more COVID with that one.
One. So, that's all we had for the show. Anything you want to tell people, who are watching this, any message you want to pass on?
Well, at this point of time, Ravi, all I have to say is like we're still amidst pandemic. So, well, in Singapore, it's pretty manageable. We are safe. We are fine, and I'm grateful and thankful for that. But at the same time, at the other parts of the world, I do understand that a lot of people have lost their loved ones, and things are still going bad, and lots of lockdowns everywhere. So I think it's time for us to take the responsibility for ourselves. So stay safe, and stay healthy, um, eat healthy, exercise, and just make sure you're keeping in track of your mental wellness. Importantly, have video chats with your family members, because I do have a lot of friends whose families are away somewhere, they're not with family. So have regular video chats and make sure they are all safe, and we can do this, Ravi. We can do this if we stand together and like stay safe and stay at home as much as possible. Yeah, so that's my word, yeah, for tonight.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Kasturi, for joining us on this particular show and representing this awesome book called The Enchanted World. And most importantly, for the parents who are watching this, kids have a lot of energy now because they are at home. So if you can use or direct that particular energy to something creative like this. So if you're interested, do get in touch with this particular team or get in touch with us. We will connect you with them. So this is a beautiful tool. This is a beautiful journey that your kid can experience if they want to write a book. So there are a lot of editions coming in on this particular book. So if your kid can be part of this, so do connect if you are interested. And Kasturi, you've been doing an awesome job. Uh, you've been thinking of a stick, but God has already given you powers. You as a teacher now, the wand which you were searching for in your backyard is actually the skills which you have within you. So as a teacher, educationalist, the social activist, and the blog which you're talking about, the gems unearthed, I think you are creating a magic across through all this skills what you have. So thank you. Do spread love, do spread positivity, enjoy life, and yeah, you're doing great. Thank you. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much, Ravi. Thank you so much for inviting me and said it so beautifully. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Have a great evening. Enjoy. Thank you.
Bye.
Namaste.